We'll open the April 13th meeting of the Anne Arundel County Ethics Commission. And before we get started, I'll read a brief statement into the record, which states the Maryland Open Meetings Act requires public meetings to be open to the public and to be held in places reasonably accessible to individuals who would like to attend these meetings. We are in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic of certain duration that necessitates innovative approaches to ensure that government remains open and operating. We recognize that an accessible virtual meeting, which is the way this Ethics Commission meeting is being conducted, was not envisioned by the Open Meetings Act, but this meeting does include many of the alternative accessibility features that the Open Meetings Compliance Board and the courts have reviewed and approved, such as having a call-in phone number that allows anyone with a telephone to call and listen to the meeting, as well as being broadcast with the video and audio on cable TV and on the web. In light of the serious health risks associated with public gatherings and in the recognition of the governor's executive orders, we believe that under these circumstances, the public access provided by this technology makes the open portion of this virtual Ethics Commission meeting reasonably accessible to the public and will satisfy the open meeting requirements of the OMA. So in light of that, Michael, unless we have any questions or concerns to bring up, can you lead us through the agenda, please, on the open meeting agenda?
Okay, welcome everyone to the April 13th Ethics Commission meeting. Our open session agenda was sent out to everyone. You should have a copy. The minutes.
Did you want to do roll call? I'm sorry. Steve.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, Gina. Let's get
roll
call.
Okay, Michael Bonsaris.
Here.
Emerson Davis.
Here.
Vanessa Carter is out. John Vandekamp.
Here.
Dale Kelberman.
Here.
Elizabeth Lewis.
Here.
Daniel Semick.
Here.
Robert Mansfield.
Here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Gina. Going through the agenda now, the minutes of our March 2nd meeting were previously approved by email, and the non-confidential version of those meetings has been posted on our website. A few updates, the lobbying update. The registration was updated on April the 1st. Currently have 47 lobbyists representing 132 employers registered in Anne Arundel County. Activity reports are due at the end of May, and Gina will be sending out those requests at the end of April. The 2020 financial disclosure statements are still coming in. They're due by April 30th. We've received approximately 116 to date, probably a few more since we've had this update on the agenda. Candidates for elective office for 2022 are starting to appear, and we did receive one candidate FDS statement. I believe that was for the county executive position. Ethics training, we've up to 519 employees trained, 78 board and commission members completed the online training. We're still moving forward with that process. We did have our budget meeting on March the 19th with the county executive's office, with Mr. Pittman, with our budget representative, and Chris Trumbauer, the budget officer. And they didn't have any serious concerns or questions about our budget. And I learned recently that it has been accepted as drafted by the county executive's office, and now it'll go to the county council as part of the county executive's budget. And that process will be ongoing for the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll come out of that with our budget intact. I don't anticipate any changes. Normally we don't get invited to the county council budget workshops like the other larger departments, and we didn't get an invitation this year either, so I don't suspect they have many questions for us, since we're probably one of the smallest departments in the county. Our regulated entities list has been updated by Gina on the website, so that should be good to go. One thing that's not on the agenda that I wanted to bring up in the open session here is that normally in May, we elect a new chair to the commission. Emerson has been kind enough to serve again this year. And unfortunately, we're going to lose Emerson on April 30th as his commission term expires. However, given the county executive's propensity to appoint people quickly, I suspect Emerson will be hanging on if he will do that voluntarily to help us out, similar to John. John's term has expired a while ago as well, and he has agreed to hang on for a while so we can keep the number of members up so we can have our quorum. John, did the county executive ever get back to you? I know you met with him once, but did he ever get back to you after that about?
I've never heard anything back from him. He called me one morning and we had a conversation of about 20 minutes on now the commission, how's it going, this, that, and the other, a few things. And I was frankly surprised at the subject in the call, but we had a very nice discussion. I've heard anything back, and I don't know. He wanted to talk, but he wanted to talk for a reason, and I'm not sure what that reason was. But here and I'm still here, so
you are still here. He doesn't appear to be in a hurry to appoint someone else.
He's
like I told you, I recommended that you be reappointed to him, but it's his choice, so he can reappoint you or not reappoint you.
He's pondering the issue.
Yeah, I'm sure he goes to bed with that thought every night.
I'm sure he is, and a few others too.
So anyway, we do have in May. We'll have to switch chairs. Normally, the process has been since I've been here. We normally look to the most senior members first, and the most senior member to see if they're willing to accept the position, if they want to do the position. A lot of times, the senior members do not want the position, so we move on to the next. So over the next week or two, I'll be reaching out to those members who are in line to be chairs to see their position, to see if they're willing to undertake the task for a year. And then I'll send out an email, update everyone on who is next in line, that person's position with regard to accepting the position. And then in May, we'll have to have a meeting. If we don't have it for another reason, we should have a meeting just for electing the new chair. So just think about that. If you're one of the more senior members of the commission and I get down to you as far as talking to you about the position, just think about it and be prepared in May so we can come to a final vote and replace Emerson. All right. Does anyone else have anything for the open session of the meeting before we sign off? Gina, I assume no one has signed up to speak?
No, I have no attendees.
No attendees. No one has sent an email, or no one has sent a text. Daniel?
Dan has a question.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Chairman. And by the way, I want to thank you for what you've done so far this short time I've been on this commission, as your fairness as a chairman, and I appreciate it. And we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you.
My one question for Michael is, I don't know if, I can't remember if it shows up in the annual reports, but part of the job is looking at those financial disclosure statements that do come in and reviewing them. So in the past year, or what happened so far this year in terms of, are there any errors or questions you have to get back to people on? Is that a typical process? And how many times does that happen where people missed something they should have added, and how do you figure that out?
Yeah, Daniel, that's part of my ongoing duties, and I do that on a regular basis, actually weekly. I'm always updating and reviewing financial disclosure statements. And yes, people do seem to miss questions on those. I would say about 5% of the ones that get filed, I have to get back in touch with, or I ask Gina to get in touch with. And it's usually people who are newly filed. They're the ones I concentrate on the hardest, because people who have been filing for years sort of got the process down, and they know what is needed and what is expected. And I have very few problems with people who have filed previously, but we probably get maybe 20 or 30 new ones per year just because of the turnover in the county. And I concentrate on those very particularly because they often miss things and they don't quite understand some of the questions. So probably 5% of them, we go back to them. We ask them to supplement their answers if we're not satisfied with an answer, or if they've simply skipped it altogether, which they do. Some of them put NA into boxes where there shouldn't be an NA because there has to be some sort of response. It's either none or a response. And we ask them for that because it's important. They sign off on it. And if it ever comes up and we have to bring up the financial disclosure statement for any particular reason, I want to make sure they're 100% complete. So we are pretty picky about that. And this year hasn't been any different. We've probably been going through and reviewing and asking people to update about 5% of the ones that have been coming in. And most people are pretty cooperative and they update them fairly quickly. Since I've been here, I've only had 1 or 2 people who have just simply ignored us, and we've had to go through the process of actually drafting a complaint, an ethics complaint, and sending it to them and saying that here's the ethics complaint that I'm going to file with the commission, by Wednesday if I don't have your statement. And that seems to have gotten the response that we need for that one particular person, but I've only had to do that once. So anyway, they are being reviewed, they are being updated, they are all on file. If anyone ever wants to see one, they're open to the public. We do get a request occasionally from the press, but they're usually mostly concerned about elected employees, county council, county executive, and an election year candidates. So it is public information. And if anyone wants to see a copy of a financial disclosure statement, they are in our office and they are readily available. So does that answer your question, Daniel?
It does, Michael. I had another question though, and I thought of was on your report was, I remember 780 or something, number of people trained this year. I mean, how many do you anticipate in total might get the ethics training this year?
I'm hoping to get majority of everyone done this year. We started out slowly for a couple of reasons. One, because of the system that we're using on the county's website, we didn't want to overwhelm it. 2, we wanted to get feedback from some of the employees about the training itself and the questions and make sure there weren't any trick questions in there that were too difficult for anyone to understand. So, that process has pretty much been ironed out. So now it's just a matter of going from department to department, sending out emails to department heads, asking them to encourage their employees to sign up for the training, giving them the links and the instructions on how to do it, and getting it done. So, hopefully we can get the majority of folks done by the end of this year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns to be brought up? Well, seeing none, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the open meetings portion of this meeting.
So moved.
Dale?
Seconded. Seconded by Dan.
And Dan has seconded. You want to take a roll call, Gina?
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Take your time.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Vandekamp.
Aye.
Mr. Kelberman,
Aye.
Ms. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Semick,
Aye.
Mr. Mansfield,
Yep, I think you're muted. Bob,
Aye.
there you go.
Yes, I was.
Okay, everyone approved the motion. It's carried.
Seeing the motion carry, we'll adjourn the open meetings portion of the Ethics Commission meeting, and we will reconvene under the closed meeting session. Any instructions for that, Gina? We're okay to do that, right?
Hopefully I shut this out and everybody can get right into the other meeting.
Okay, see you on the other side.
Thanks.
Right, hopefully. See you
Okay.
guys.